For millions of years, one creature ruled the oceans absolutely and completely without fear. I mean, we're talking about a shark the size of a city bus. It was the unquestioned king of the deep. And then, one day, it just vanished completely. It presents this massive contradiction, right? What really killed the greatest shark in history? Think about it for a second. The Megalodon had absolutely no natural predators. Zero. There were no known enemies that even dared to challenge it. So if literally nothing could hunt the hunter, how on earth did it end up extinct? That is the ultimate scientific cold case we're going to unpack today. Now, to get how it all fell apart, we kind of have to look back at the glory days. Let's travel back around 20 million years. This was the golden era for our apex predator. The oceans quite literally belongs to the Megalodon. It had absolute dominance over the seas, and honestly, it seemed entirely impossible that anything could ever replace it, let alone wipe it off the face of the earth. And it was the undisputed king for a very good reason. It spanned a massive 15 to 20 meters long. Just to put that into perspective for you, you're looking at a creature the exact size of a modern articulated bus, just swimming through the ocean. This sheer, unbelievable scale made it an absolutely unstoppable giant, built for one thing: ruling the waters. But it wasn't just big, it was incredibly lethal. Its bite could crush bones with terrifying force. Actually, scientists tell us it had one of the strongest known bites of any animal in history. This unmatched hunting prowess meant the Megalodon could easily prey on enormous whales and other massive marine animals. It firmly cemented its place at the very top of the food chain. Nobody was coming for its crown. Or, well, so it seemed. But nature had already started writing a different ending. So let's open the investigation. Enter suspect number one in our mystery: a changing world. Over millions of years, the seemingly perfect, stable environment that the Megalodon had completely conquered began to shift. And this set off a chain reaction that no amount of sheer size or physical strength could fight against. It was basically an ecological cascade of doom. Now, it certainly didn't happen overnight, but step by step, the trap was set. First, Earth's climate slowly cooled down, causing sea levels to change and ocean currents to dramatically shift. And because of this, the giant whales that the Megalodon heavily depended on for food, they migrated. They moved away into colder waters where the warm water-loving Megalodon just couldn't easily follow. And suddenly, food became incredibly scarce. Which brings us to a really massive question. Can the world's greatest predator survive when its food begins to disappear? You can be the biggest, most terrifying creature on the planet with bone-crushing jaws, but absolute invincibility means absolutely nothing if there's simply nothing left to eat. Your greatest asset, that massive size, suddenly becomes your biggest liability, just because you require massive amounts of fuel to stay alive. And while the Megalodon was out there struggling to find a meal, the ocean wasn't standing still. Let's introduce suspect number two in our cold case: the new rivals. Just as the Megalodon found itself at a disadvantage, other species were evolving and actually thriving in these exact new conditions. The changing oceans were creating a brand new biological battleground. So unlike the massive Megalodon, which required just a ton of prey, its new challengers, which were the ancestors of modern great white sharks and various groups of toothed whales, they were much smaller. They needed significantly less food to survive and adapted far more easily to the cooler environments. So now, they're competing for the exact same shrinking pool of prey. So we really have to ask ourselves, was this the beginning of the Megalodon's downfall? It's a fascinating paradigm shift in nature. Think about it. The very traits that made the Megalodon the undisputed king of the ocean for millions of years, its sheer size and incredible strength, actually became fatal disadvantages in a rapidly evolving, highly competitive ecosystem. It was, quite simply, outcompeted by smaller, hungrier, and way more flexible rivals. Which brings us to our final verdict. After looking at all the evidence and digging through the fossil records, what's the scientific consensus? Surprisingly, it's not some blockbuster movie ending. Scientists have found absolutely zero evidence that another, bigger or scarier monster came along and killed the Megalodon in some epic clash of the titans. The reality is much more grounded and, frankly, a lot more interesting from an ecological standpoint. The leading scientific explanation is your classic death by 1,000 cuts. 3 major nails sealed its fate: changing oceans, declining food supplies, and increasing competition. The Megalodon wasn't defeated in a single battle. It was slowly pushed toward extinction by a changing world. Ocean temperatures dropped, the giant whales left, and the smaller, scrappier predators ate whatever was left behind. Ultimately, this cold case leaves us with a profound lesson. In the end, Mother Nature proves stronger than the ocean's greatest hunter. The Megalodon ruled the oceans effortlessly for millions of years, but it serves as a pretty powerful reminder that even the most powerful apex predator, a creature that seems totally invincible, is completely at the mercy of the natural world. But before we wrap up today, I want to leave you with a super fascinating final thought. While the mighty Megalodon disappeared into the history books, another prehistoric creature living in that exact same changing world actually survived. How did it manage to escape extinction when the greatest shark in history couldn't? What was its secret? Well, if you love uncovering the greatest mysteries of Earth's past, make sure to like and subscribe because we are going to be diving into that incredible secret in our next explainer. Thanks for hanging out and learning with me today.